In this video, we're going to go over the various options you can set regarding customer transaction receipts. Specifically, how you can control whether or not a customer receives a printed receipt, a displayed receipt, or no receipt. The software used in this demonstration is V05.00.43. Some of the options shown will not be available in older versions of software, or the ATM may act differently under error conditions, in which case you may need to update in order to support the options as shown. To find the receipt options from the main operator menu, go to Customer Setup. Then choose Optional Functions. Within Optional Functions, you'll see Select Receipt. The available options are Disabled, Enabled, and No Print. Note that the No Print option was added in later releases, so if you don't see it, an update will be required. When this option is set to Disabled, a transaction will proceed normally. There is no customer option regarding receipts in the transaction flow. A receipt will always be printed out for each transaction. When the option is set to Enabled, during the transaction, the customer will be given a choice to either print the receipt, display the receipt on the screen, or no receipt at all. When the option is set to No Print, if the printer is otherwise working properly, meaning that it's online and has paper, but it's been set to No Print, then there is no prompt for the customer regarding receipts. The transaction will only display on the screen at the end. In this menu, there is also an option for whether or not the machine will print a receipt if the ATM has had a communication error with the host. The options are No Print, meaning a receipt will not be printed, or on Error Print, which will print a receipt regardless of the Select Printer option if there's a communication error during the transaction. There are several exceptions or rules regarding these Select Receipt options. If DCC or Dynamic Currency Conversion is enabled, those transactions require that a customer receive a printed receipt. So if the printer is offline or otherwise unable to print, then those transactions cannot complete. If there is a dispense error resulting in a reversal transaction and the printer is online, then a receipt will print regardless of the Select Receipt setting. If the printer is offline due to some malfunction or there is no paper, then at the beginning of the transactions, customers will be prompted with this message that a receipt is unavailable and lets them know in advance they will not receive a printed receipt. For most printer malfunctions, regardless of the Select Receipt setting, the ATM will stay in service and continue to process transactions even though the printer reports an error. Even if you enter and exit the operator menu or you reboot the ATM, it will remain in service, just prompting customers that a receipt is not available. However, if the ATM cannot communicate with the printer, for example, if you unplug the printer cable, it will remain in service and do transactions, but if you enter the operator menu or you reboot the ATM, which causes the device to initialize, the ATM will then go out of service with a communication error. This must be fixed before the ATM can return to service. In summary, there are three options available for Select Receipt. Disable will automatically print a customer receipt at the end of each transaction. Enable will offer customers a choice of receipt type, print, display, or none. No Print will not print a customer receipt unless there is a problem dispensing the cash. For all of these options, if a printed receipt fails, a display receipt will be shown. And the software will always attempt to keep the ATM online during a paper outage or printer malfunction. However, communication errors must be fixed to go back in service. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please contact Genmega support.